Today, Nerd Out, it's going to be a long one. We're looking at my entire movie collection of 2021, specifically Blu-rays. Yeah. Well, Nerd Out, the show where we nerd out. My name is JustinTime, and like I said, we're going to look at all my Blu-rays. This isn't even all of them. This is just the first shelf out of 3, taking up 4. I'm going to do these in segments. So first off, this is the shelf space that I dedicated to franchises. I try to keep my franchises all together and my one-offs, or any franchise that I don't have complete. Sometimes to alphabetical. So we're going to start with franchises. And like I said, I sometimes break the rules, and this is my incomplete collection of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I'm also going to keep a counter here of how many movies I haven't seen yet that are in my movie collection. This does not count ones that I've seen, bought on Blu-ray, and haven't watched. These are strictly movies that I haven't watched yet, or Blu-rays that I haven't seen yet. Starting off, we have Iron Man 1. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite MCU films. Next up, Incredible Hulk. I do love the Incredible Hulk's design in this movie, more than Mark Ruffalo's. But I think Mark Ruffalo also does a better job as both Hulk and Bruce Banner. I just love the long-haired design of this Hulk. Next up, Iron Man 2. I actually really like this film as well. Not that many people like Iron Man 2. I can see why people don't like it, but I have nostalgia built into it because I was a kid, and I really like the discovering the element scene. Next up, Captain America's Civil War. This one is actually on 4K. It's one of my 4K collection. I actually have the entire Captain America trilogy on 4K because it's one of the trilogies in the MCU that I think looks great on 4K. Next up, we have the Avengers. I also have a lot of nostalgia built into this. Compared to Endgame, it's not... Avengers is probably down there, but I watched this so much on DVD as a kid. So, next up, Iron Man 3. This is also this is more of my guilty pleasure MCU movie. It's not for everyone, but I did enjoy it. Also, if you see the glare, it's because my light is back there for video game or gaming. So, it's kind of angled at me. So, yeah, that's why I'm trying to hold them at an angle. Next up, we have The Winter Soldier. I really enjoy this one. This is one of the best, and this gave us the Russo brothers, who had to give us Endgame. So thank you, Russos. Next we have Age of Ultron. It's okay. Doctor Strange. This is probably the first MCU film I saw in the theater, and the only MCU film I saw in the theater, if I can recall. I do love Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. I love Mads Mikkelsen's character, although he dies like almost every movie I've seen him in. Spoilers. Next up, we have Civil War. Really great film. Also on 4K, along with Winter Soldier. I was on Team Iron Man when I was younger. Now I'm on Team Cap. Okay, now we're on to movies I haven't seen yet, which is Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming. I haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming yet. I've had this movie for about a year, maybe 2 now. I just haven't gotten around to it. And I love the design of the slipcover, because it's supposed to be read like that, but that's upside down, and you flip it over, you're like, okay, he's right side up, but everything's upside down. Oh wait, the landscape's upside down. He's sitting upside down. I like little gimmicks on packaging. Next up is Infinity War. I really enjoyed this. This is great. This actually is better. This does a better job. Now that because Infinity War exists, I don't want to hear anyone saying Last Jedi subverts expectations. No, Last Jedi was written terribly. You may wonder why I have a Last Jedi shrine, basically. I like the movie poster. I have some figures from Last Jedi that are carded. Thought I'd put them there. So, but anyways, Infinity War. This is how Last Jedi should have been written. But it wasn't. Alright, add to the counter, number 2. Captain Marvel. I bought this to do a review about 2 years ago as well, and haven't gotten around to it. So there's also, I do like the costume design of Captain Marvel, so I do like that, and I have some videos about the costume design that I want to do, just haven't gotten to it. Next up is the big boy themselves, Avengers Endgame. Phenomenal film. great film. This is what Rise of Skywalker was trying to be, and failed miserably. This was 10 years in the making, and I don't think we'll ever see anything to this scale in our lifetime again. It might happen again, but I doubt I will be alive to see it. Another counter, the third one, Far From Home. Just haven't got around to it. I feel like it's also going to be one of those, because everyone I felt like everyone was hyping it up, and I worry about that, because whenever people hype it up, I go in with high expectations, and then I get let down if it doesn't reach that, if I don't feel like it. So I'm worried about it. Had to stop to go to the bathroom. Alright, we're barely into this. Alright, next up is Star Wars movies. I have the prequels all on Blu-ray. I am hoping to get them all on 4K at some point. I'm just not that ambitious yet. I have Rogue One. Great movie. That was probably one of the best that Disney released. And we have the original trilogy. We have The Force Awakens, which I actually enjoyed. I think this was actually great on its own. It sets up some nice aspects to the story. And we get into this, Last Jedi. I just finally got it. I finally upgraded to Blu-ray. I was looking for the 4K of this because I didn't want to buy a third copy. I couldn't find it, so I bought the Blu-ray. I just needed to get the Blu-ray. But I do have the 4K copy of Rise of Skywalker. I'll tell you this, I watched Rise of Skywalker after Sonic, and I had more fun watching Sonic. Next up, I have all 3 Family Guy Star Wars movies. I really enjoy the Family Guy movies. And then the Steelbook for Revenge of the Sith, the best Star Wars film. It's my number 1. I think it's tied with Empire Strikes Back, for me. Next up, we have 2 different franchises, so I'm going to start off with the larger one of the 2. We have Jurassic Park, my favorite movie of all time. I love the stories behind how it was made. I've watched the film thousands of times, basically. Lost World. I used to not enjoy this as a kid. I didn't like it because my favorite character was Alan Grant. But now I'm more towards Ian Malcolm than Alan Grant. But I do enjoy Alan Grant, but I did love this film. Or I do love it now, but I didn't as a kid. I'm gonna get flack for this. I do enjoy Jurassic Park 3. It's great. It's one of those popcorn flicks where you could just sit there, eat. You're not losing any interest. If you just let your brain shut off and watch it, like not think of the logistics of the movie, of the story and plot, it's a good movie. The action's okay and that. But it feels more... But if you actually analyze this film, it feels more like this was supposed to be like a TV show that they split up. Next up, we have Jurassic Park's glorious return to the big screen with Jurassic World. I did enjoy Jurassic World. However, anytime I watch it, I just skip right to when Owen and Claire meet the Apatosaur. Just because I can. I like to get into the action of it more. I feel like they took a lot longer to get to the Indominus moments than they should have. But I can't figure out for the life of me how you would do it without doing that. It just feels too long. This is my first ever 4K, by the way. I got Fallen Kingdom. This is not the last time you're seeing Fallen Kingdom. Next up, we have Clash of the Titans. I really enjoyed the Clash of the Titans remake in that, but first off, we have the original, which I found at Best Buy for like $5, and I just snatched it up. We have my favorite one out of all 3 of these, is the 2010 remake with Sam Worthington. This came out, I think, after he did Avatar. I enjoyed Avatar less than I did with this. I try and figure out which came first, or which he films first, because he has a buzz cut in both of them like this. So it's interesting. And then finally we have Wrath of the Titans. I love Wrath of the Titans. I can see why people don't like it. This setup, this was supposed to be the middle of a trilogy, and we didn't get the third one. I want the third one. Who made Legendary and Warner Brothers? Legendary and Warner Brothers? Come here, closer. This decade, bring back Sam Worthington as Perseus. I want to see this third one. This third one has potential. Spoilers, every god but Hades is dead by the end of the film. Meaning, is Perseus gonna take up the mantle? He wants to be immortal. He doesn't want to be a god, but who's gonna take the role of the gods? Will it be the kids? We have Perseus. We have Poseidon's son. I don't remember his name. What happens? I want to see what happens. How does the world function with all the gods but Hades dead? Does Hades end up trying to take over the world? I hope not, because he kind of resolves his character arc in this one, but I want to see it. I want to see it. Maybe Hades helps guide Perseus and that into, like, how to be a god. And Perseus struggles with being a god because he's, like, likes to be human. This is a whole video on its own. We're not talking about it now. Next up is a bunch of Blu-rays. Alright? There are a bunch of Steelbooks. We have the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. Mine is the Hobbit trilogy. I only have the Lord of the Rings ones, all on Steelbook. And then we have the original 2 Ghostbusters on Steelbook. All these are basically Walmart Steelbooks, except I think I got these 2 at, no, I got these 2 at Walmart. I got this one at Best Buy. And then I got the Ghostbusters ones at Walmart. Final pile for the first shelf on my Blu-ray collection involves the two Jumanji movies. I still need to get level 2, but I have Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. My DC films that are not part of the DCEU involve Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Oh, that's another one I add to the title. I think we're on, what, 4? I'll see in editing. We have another one. Actually, almost the entirety of the DC ones we can put as movies I've never seen. I haven't seen Batman 89. I should. I know I'm revoking. I will revoke. If I don't, I'll have to revoke my movie fan card. Next up, we have Man of Steel. Haven't seen Man of Steel. Well, I've seen chunks, but I wouldn't classify it as seeing the film. Next up, Batman v Superman. The movie that DC basically rushed out because, hey, we gotta compete with Civil War. And how we do that? Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. And then they want you to feel bad that Superman dies, but this is the second time I see Superman in this franchise, so I'm not that attached yet. So now we're on to my second shelf, and the second shelf starts off with the rest of the franchise that I couldn't fit on the first shelf. So we have the rest of the DCU films I have, which is Wonder Woman, which is what I heard is the best out of all of them. Again, another one to the counter. I'm planning on watching it. I do want to watch it and also somehow get HBO Max and watch Wonder Woman 89. Check it, and then I'll rank them or something like that. And then I have Aquaman, which kind of regret buying because I'm on Team Johnny Depp, let's just say. And you're not going to see me talk about Aquaman 2 probably on this channel because I'm already boycotting Aquaman 2 out of support for Johnny Depp. So yeah. But I have Aquaman 1. I might make a video on it and use it as my selling topic to Aquaman for Aquaman 2 and that maybe. Next up, I'm kind of a weeb and I also like mainstream anime. So I have Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, which is basically how the precursor to Dragon Ball Super. This basically is Dragon Ball Super Battle of the Gods because the first arc in Battle of the Gods is Battle of the Gods, and then the second arc is Resurrection F, which I don't have, but I do have Dragon Ball Super Broly. I don't know why I say that. I heard the Japanese trailer and I love the pronunciation of the Dragon Ball Super Broly. This is also the Walmart exclusive, which has the holographic cover. Next up is some of the Terminator movies I have. I do have to end up getting all the Terminator movies, sadly, but we have Terminator 1. Great film. Haven't seen. That count is getting high, I feel like. Got Terminator 2. Yep. And then, don't hate me, I bought it for a film, I bought it for a video, Terminator Genesis. No, Terminator Dark Fate, that's what it is. Otherwise, bad film. But I bought it for a video. There we go. Next up we have The Hunger Games, and finally, I've seen The Hunger Games. I'm not a big fan of the Hunger Games franchise. This has what I call the Narnia effect, where it seems like it takes so long, so boring. It feels like it's probably like you're only in probably like setting up to the Hunger Games for like an hour, but it feels like 5. I have the Hunger Games. I bought these because the new Hunger Games book basically came out when I got these back in June. So, well, I got that one way before, but I got the rest of these, which, wow, +3 because I haven't seen any of them. I got these to do like a ranking because I'm assuming probably going to be a movie coming out soon for the Hunger Games franchise because everything has to be brought back. finally, the best two films from this franchise. Men in Black 1 and 2. I love these films. I used to be afraid of Men in Black 1, and Men in Black 2 was my favorite as a kid. Now I'm really liking Men in Black 1, and I really like Men in Black 2. These are phenomenal films. Men in Black 3 I've never seen, but I don't have, so don't move. I haven't seen, but I heard there was mixed feelings about it. International, I heard mixed feelings, but there we go. On to now the other movies. Intermission time. Let's take a little break quick and have some water. Do you have water? Better have water. Better be hydrating. Here on the JustinTime channel, we advocate hydration. Don't get it down your trachea though. Alright, we're starting my other movies. My other movie part, the rest of my movie collection. It's like stuck in my throat. We advocate drinking water, but don't let it go down. Don't drink it as fast as I did. Oh, starting off my normal movies, we have A Quiet Place. I guess now part 1. Love this film. This is probably my favorite horror film. Even though it's not even technically horror, it's more like suspense. I fucking love it. It's so good. The concept is so great. It's like it's Don't Breathe, but on a whole nother level. And I haven't seen Don't Breathe. I don't have it though. Don't you stay. If you haven't seen A Quiet Place, go watch it. I'm gonna make a few videos for when it finally comes out. Hopefully A Quiet Place Part 2 comes out this year. I was very, very sad when it got cancelled, and then the rest of the world went down to shit if it got cancelled. I was really, I want to watch it. I want to see it. John Krasinski, I want to see it, please. Please, John. I want to see it now. Next up, we have Alien. I have Aliens. This is the last Alien film. I haven't seen either of them, so I guess 2 more. Oh, God. Another one. Ding. Okay. Annabelle. I bought this for the Halloween Spectacular. Halloween Spectacular didn't go the way I wanted to. Still proud of the videos that came out for Halloween Spectacular. But hopefully this year we'll get to it. But we have Annabelle. Aristocats. It's a good film, although it has the one racist scene in it. But I still like this. I still love this film. It's more nostalgia because I grew up watching this film. One of my favorite Disney movies besides Dinosaur. Atlantis. This one's a 2-pack. It comes with Atlantis The Lost Empire and Atlantis Milo's Return. Milo's Return is a little iffy, but I did like the character designs, like how they gave Kida in that movie modern clothes at the time. So she was wearing like basically what Milo wears in the first one, but with just full brown knee-high boots. But it's a great... Atlantis The Lost Empire is a great film. And I'm part of a meme group where the screenwriter, Tab Murphy, who wrote this film, is a part of. Next up, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Probably the best out of the trilogy. However, I will get to Face the Music. I have seen both. We watched these on Christmas. They are great films. Bill and Ted Face the Music. It's a little weird. The beginning kind of loses me, but once they steal the time booth, it's great. I think it's a good film, and that it's a little jarring to see Keanu Reeves back as Bill, or not Bill, back as Ted. I was getting mixed up, even though I know that Alex Winter's Bill and Keanu Reeves is Ted. But like I was saying, it's a little jarring seeing Keanu Reeves as Ted again after John Wick and that. Finally, in our tech, we have Bohemian Rhapsody. Funny story, when I bought it, they forgot to take out a security case, so I walked all the way out the store. No one stopped me. I got in my car, drove all the way back to my house, which was 20 minutes away from the Walmart, and then learned that I was in the security case. I drove all the way back, walked back in, the alarm still went off, which sounds like a phone going off. No one saw me there. I walked up to the service, I went, hey, I have the receipt. I somehow got all the way home with the security case on. They're like, wow, no one stopped you at the door? I went, yeah, no one stopped me at the door. I didn't also want it to be one of those cases where I had the receipt and I just set it somewhere in my room because it would have gotten lost, and I just broke it out of the security case, and like something would go off and like alert the police, and I'd be like, wait, I bought it. I swear to God, I bought it. Where's the receipt? Shit. Next up in the list we have Detective Pikachu. Bought it because Ryan Reynolds. I'm a big fan of Ryan Reynolds, and I think Justice Smith is a good actor. Dodgeball. If you can dodge a car, you can dodge a ball. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Now we're the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. I've seen the film. I love the film. It's a great film. Next up, we were literally talking about this film before I found it at a small game shop. Dracula Untold. It's basically, they were going to revive the Universal Dark Universe, which is all the classic monsters. Dracula Untold was technically the start of that. Then Mummy came, and they basically stopped. And then Blumhouse took over. I think Blumhouse is doing great. They should remake Dracula and Mummy, and they'll do great with it. But I'm pretty sure I did it. I haven't seen it yet, because I literally just bought it, guys. Alright, we have the movie 3-pack. This doesn't count, though. I haven't seen Bio Broly, but I have seen Broly Legendary Super Saiyan Broly Second Coming, so I'm counting as I saw it. Because I didn't even know Bio Broly existed. And apparently in the Dragon Ball community, we don't talk about Bio Broly. And this is the version that they took out like the metal music and the rock music. I don't like it. They added the classic Dragon Ball music, and I don't think it fits. I got 8th grade. I'm a big fan of Bo Burnham. Wanted to check it out, but I haven't yet. I haven't had the time. Next up, this film used to scare me as a kid. You might find it funny, but it's E.T. As a kindergartner, I watched the Buffy the Vampire Slayer spin-off show Angel, but E.T. scared me because he was an extraterrestrial, which is what E.T. stands for. Next up, Ex Machina. I've seen this film. My brother Jacob made me watch this film because Alicia Vikander is now the new Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. It's an okay film. It's kind of boring. It's one of those art house films, basically, where it's banking more on like the visuals and the art and that. It's kind of boring. If you're into action in that, you probably could skip this, but it's great. I got it in 4K because I think it would look great. The final two that I have here are the Fantastic Beasts movies. I don't know what I'm going to do about the third one that's going to be coming out. If it's Mads Mikkelsen replacing Depp, I'll probably check it out because I like Mads. But otherwise, I don't know. Johnny Depp probably a cool character. Although, I haven't seen him. I just haven't had the ambition to go back to the Harry Potter universe when it's not watching Harry Potter films. Alright, next up, Gemini Man. I haven't seen Gemini Man because I got it basically for a series I want to do where I look at mixed reaction movies where like the audience didn't like it, the critics liked it, critics didn't like it, but audiences loved it, vice versa. Gemini Man's one of them. Next up I have Girl with Dragon Tattoo. Yeah, I got it because I like costume design in movies, and one of the costumes in the girl in the spider's web caught my eye, and I thought it looked interesting. But then when I heard this was a sequel, I bought the original, or the first one, which is also a remake. And Claire Foy isn't the girl with the dragon tattoo, although she is the girl with the dragon tattoo in this one. Anyways, next up, Halloween. My God, there's so many. When can we get back to movies that I've seen? I bought this again just because I was interested. I do like the costume design of Michael Myers in this, to the point where I could actually potentially just make my own Michael Myers suit out of the parts, the screen-used parts. Because also, if you buy the Trick or Treat Studios mask, it's the same. It comes out of the same molds as the Halloween 2018 masks mold. Finally, we're into movies. Another one of my favorite Disney films that I always keep forgetting about, Hercules. It's no way accurate to Hercules, the actual mythology, Greek story, but I just love it. I watched it a lot as a kid. I used to have it on the clamshell VHS, but we lost it in a move along with Prince of Egypt, which is one of my favorite animated films. Next up is a film. It's more nostalgia that I have it than it being good, because I don't remember it and I haven't seen it in a while, but I have seen it. I've seen it. It counts. Home on the Range by Disney. Another one that I watched at my uncle's right after my parents basically got divorced. They split up, but they weren't divorced yet. But I was at my Uncle Yo's. We call him Uncle Yo, but that's not his real name. I watched it with some cousins. It was great. It helped me take my mind off it. It's Hook with Robin Williams. Rest in peace, Robin. Oh boy. Next up, we have Horns, starring Daniel Radcliffe. This is one of his first films after Harry Potter. I think his first actual film is The Woman in Black, but I haven't seen that one either. I don't own it. I was curious about this one. I thought it looked interesting, or at least like the design of the horns in that concept. Yeah, that's what I got. I got it. Final one is another one I haven't seen, and that's Hotel Artemis. I basically bought it because my boy Jeff Goldblum's in it. I know nothing about it. I just know it's basically kind of like the Continental from John Wick, but you could potentially get killed in the hotel. Next up, we have the original How the Grinch Stole... Oh, it's backwards. The original classic How the Grinch Stole Christmas on Blu-ray, and then on 4K, I have How the Grinch Stole Christmas starring Jim Carrey, because I'm a Unis Honest fan, and I also enjoyed the Jim Carrey one before Unis Honest. Next up, I need to get the other two, but I picked this one up because it was a little cheap. It was $6. It's the original How to Train Your Dragon, the first one. I do enjoy the How to Train Your Dragon series. I need to see the third one. Next up is I Am Legend. I was actually reading the book. I think I got like a quarter of the way through before I had to return it to school, and I just haven't picked it up again. But I thought it looked interesting even when I was a kid, and I wanted to check it out. Plus, I like Will Smith. Next up, we have The Incredibles. Hot take. Incredibles, in my opinion, was good. It wasn't this masterpiece, but I haven't watched it since I was a kid, and those are my kid. That's me remembering watching it as a kid. However, I will say Incredibles 2, it wasn't that good. It was a little boring, and it sets up a sequel. Here's the thing, this one didn't set up a sequel. I watched this, and I was like, oh cool, they can be supers again. I watched the sequel. The minute they started, they basically were like, yeah, supers are still illegal, guys. Next up, Inception. I watched this going to Florida one year in high school. It was a great film. I really love how it's basically done practically, especially the scene where the hallway fight in the hotel in the one sequence of the dream. It's a beautiful fight scene, and it inspires me for filmmaking to this day. And finally, Independence Day. I reviewed this last year. Go review its sequel this year for Independence Day, and let me tell you, I love this one. I don't know why it took me so long to rewatch it. Here we are on the final stretch, the last shelf of my Blu-ray collection. Intermission number 2. Don't choke on it this time, like I did. Starting off the next pile, we have the sequel to Independence Day. That's Independence Day Resurgence, when the aliens come back. I will see it by the end of this coming year. Next up, The Iron Giant. I know it's a cult classic, but I wasn't really a big fan of it. I haven't watched it though since I was a kid, but yeah. Next up is Jaws. I watched this in in college, when I was going for my film degree. But I was also working a job where I was working night shifts, so I was falling asleep in class. So I was barely paying attention to this movie, or I was paying attention, but my brain wasn't registering the scares like it should. Plus, it was the middle of winter, so I'm thinking this summer I might watch it and see if it scares me out of the water. Next up is the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I was interested into it. I've seen the first and second one. Next up, one of my favorite action movie franchises, although I only have the first one, John Wick. It's a fucking phenomenal film. And John Wick 1 is probably the best one out of the three, only because it doesn't set up a sequel. You could watch John Wick 1 and not have to worry about John Wick 2 and 3, but when you go into John Wick 2, it's set up perfectly because it sets up, John Wick 1 sets up to the T the next problem. And it was like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that part. It also came with the coins. And that. So I have 2 coins. And if I try and hunt down the other Steelbooks, the other Steelbook for John Wick 2, and I think maybe John Wick 3. Now this one gives you a ticket to John Wick 3, Parabellum. But I could have 4 if I hunt down the John Wick 2 copy. Next up is Joker. I know, I need to watch it. And it's also a 4K copy, so I should be watching it soon. But just letting you know, I haven't seen it. But I do think it's going to be phenomenal, as to what I've heard. Alright, next up we're on to another guilty pleasure, but I think it's a great film. Jumper. I love this film. It's a great concept. People with the ability to teleport being hunted down by people who think, or who go to kill them because of a religious aspect. They think that jumpers shouldn't have that power. Only God should have that power. And then the twist with his mom is phenomenal. Next up is The Kid. I got it because I think Ethan Hawke is a good actor, and also I'm a fan of Chris Pratt, and I'm pretty sure he plays Billy the Kid. I think no, it's Dane DeHaan, but I think he is Chris Pratt is Billy the Kid's uncle. Next up we have Logan, which again I haven't seen, but I do want to see because I've heard such great reviews about it. Although I am worried about it being not as good as people say it is in my eyes, and then I'm let down. Next up we have Lion King, the original. It's fucking good. It's fucking good. Is it a masterpiece? Probably not, but it's really, really good. Next up, Lighthouse. I will say, based off the trailer that I saw, because I haven't seen it, I think William Dafoe should be casted as Robert Pattinson's Joker, because they have great chemistry together. And William Dafoe could play a damn good comic book villain.
Hello, my dear.
Next up we have The Martian. I think it was pretty good. Pretty good film. Finally in this pile, we have The Meg. Only because it's one of those stupid shark films. See, here's the thing. We have Jaws, a great shark film. Then we have The Meg, a shitty movie. But it's a shark film. The next stack of movies that I have, we're starting off with Mother. I haven't seen Mother, but it's one of those split movie reactions where audiences hated it, critics loved it, and I wanted to look at why. And I was hoping to maybe save this for Halloween. I was hoping to do it for Halloween Spectacular, but I didn't have the time. So maybe this year. If not, I might throw this in this year for Halloween Spectacular. Or if I don't have a video out, but I have time to make that, I'll make that video. Next up, Nightmare Before Christmas. I love this movie. It's a great movie. I didn't actually watch it this year for Christmas. It's kind of... I should make up by watching it this month, but... Another split reactions film, we have Noah, which I haven't seen. I got it because audiences hated it, but critics loved it. It's going to explain like why. Next up we have Office Space, which is a comedy we watched in college, and I forget what the lesson was. I think it was just how we would pace writing a comedy in that. Next up, Once Upon a Deadpool. I haven't seen it, but it's technically Deadpool 2, but PG-13. Paper Towns. I haven't watched this. I read the book in high school, but I haven't watched this. But I do want to watch it because it has Nate Wolff, who was in the Naked Brothers band, and it has Cara Delevingne, who is probably one of my celebrity crushes. Next up, people are probably gonna hate on me because I haven't seen it because it swept the Oscars last year. Parasite. I haven't watched it yet. I want to watch it, like do like a Parasite 1 year later. Was it Oscar worthy? And it probably still is. It's probably a phenomenal film. There's probably a reason why it swept the Oscars last year in 2020. That video is probably answered, but I still want to make that video. This is kind of a guilty pleasure. I enjoyed the first Percy Jackson film. I got it for $5, as you can see. It's mainly for nostalgia. I really enjoyed it as a kid, and it's now a guilty pleasure. It's one of those movies that it's bad, but I have feelings into it. Next up, we have Predator, which is a movie I watched when I was 10. It's rated R. Great film. Arnold Schwarzenegger, aliens. Arnold Schwarzenegger killing an alien fight an alien. What else can you ask for? Pulp Fiction. Yeah, I haven't seen Pulp Fiction. I need to watch it. I want to also like have a reason to watch it, which we'll probably talk about at the end. Next up is a movie I saw in high school for one of our units, which we were talking about, like Hitchcock in that unit, which is Psycho, because it's one of his most famous films. And that, if I recall, it's the original. It's his Psycho. It's not the remake. And that. Next up, I grabbed this when I forgot. I grabbed this thinking this was the movie that I was thinking of, but I realized, wait, it's Rocky. Like, I think it's Rocky 4, not Rock or something like that. It's a split reaction film or something like that. But I grabbed Rambo Last Blood on accident. So I might also make a video on this because I heard that there was mixed reactions for this as well. But I have to look at it again. Next up is the movie that proves that Ewan McGregor and Robin Williams had great comedic chemistry and probably should have done a couple more films together, in my opinion. That is Robots. I love Ewan McGregor's Rodney Copperfield, and Robin Williams was Fender. Next up is a film that I saw in college as well, and I really enjoy it. It is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It's a great film. I love the character of Scott Pilgrim and Ramona Flowers. And it has Chris Evans. Come on. I need to read the graphic novels as well. I need to buy them. But I also would need a shelf to also store books. But anyways, next up we have The Shining, which I also got for the Spooktacular to talk about, but I didn't get to talking about it. It's a classic. Although Stephen King doesn't like the Kubrick version. Next up, this one is a little bit of a hard topic for Wisconsinites, mainly because of a major event that happened with the main character, basically, of this next film, which is Slender Man. If you don't know, I'm from Wisconsin, and roughly around the time when Slender Man was huge on the internet. I mean, he's still pretty big, but he doesn't have like the same like presence as creepypastas now, like Siren Head and that. Like, he was one of the OG creepypastas, basically, that was making the rounds on the internet. He was involved in a big thing that happened in Wisconsin, where a young girl got stabbed 17 times by two of her friends because they were trying to summon Slender Man in the middle of the woods, and she survived. She's doing well, last I checked. Wisconsin kind of had a bad reputation when it came with Slender Man, or to the point where when it was coming out, when Slender Man came out on the big screen, only a few movie theaters, I think one nearby me, and there's like a lot of movie theaters near me, only one was playing it on as they're running. Wisconsin movie theaters boycotted Slender Man because of out of respect for the little girl. But I mainly bought this because I was like, oh, they really made a Slender Man film when did it come out? 2018. They made a Slender Man film in 2018. Slender Man wasn't even that big anymore. In my opinion, they should have made Slender Man back when like he went viral because of PewDiePie and that. The final one of the pile is another one I haven't seen, Split, by M. Night Shyamalan. The reason it's taking me a while is because I still don't forgive M. Night Shyamalan for what he did to one of my favorite TV shows as a kid, Avatar: The Last Airbender. So it's taking me a while to watch one of his movies again, although I did hear this one was pretty good. Alright, now on to the last pile that I have here. First, starting off, another one. We have John Carpenter's The Thing, which is a remake of The Thing from the 60s. This one actually nearly ruined John Carpenter's career when it first came out, so I was going to say that for that, even though now it's a classic. A comedy that it lives in my heart. This Is the End. I love all the actors that are in it. They're great. And it's funny to think, because they all play themselves. So it is James Franco and Seth Rogen, but it's like I like to think, holy shit, Hiccup is fucking swearing in a rated R film and smoking weed. Hiccup is smoking weed in this film because it's the voice actor of Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. Barshall, if I pronounce that correctly. Next up we have Titanic, which I bought this film right after I made the Roblox Titanic video. It's one of those films where I would have to have a girlfriend or a significant other. I'm not watching Titanic by myself. I have better things to do. Next up we have my favorite Christmas time movie to watch. I was watched as a kid. I was very excited when I saw it on Blu-ray. Although I didn't watch it, I also should probably watch it this month just to get my fix of it. Tom and Jerry and A Nutcracker Tale. I really love this film. It's a great film. You can check out Tom and Jerry's A Nutcracker Tale as soon as possible. Next up we have Tomb Raider, which I have seen, and it was pretty good. And I think this is one of the best video game adaptation movies they've done in recent years. It perfectly blended reality and the game to the T in my eyes, and I might make a video on it. Next up we have Toy Story 2. I don't have Toy Story 1 or Toy Story 3 or Toy Story 4 yet. I haven't found them, but I did find Toy Story 2 for a good price at Walmart, so I picked it up. It's one of my favorites out of the quadrilogy in that, although a lot of people don't like it. But I love it. The backstory behind it, I'll make a whole video on it. The backstory behind the making of that is fucking amazing for the time period it came out. Uncut gems. I bought this and then immediately came out on Netflix, but I do need to watch it. It's one of Adam Sandler's greatest roles I've heard in a long time. Next up is another kind of guilty pleasure, although I do want to see it I do want to see this trilogy actually fulfilled, because it was supposed to be a trilogy, but there's only one, and that is Van Helsing. Sorry, Hugh Jackman. Van Helsing is a fucking amazing film. I can see why people don't like it, but if you look at this compared to like some of the dark universe movies that came out recently, unless you're comparing it to The Invisible Man, it fucking beats them. It beat this movie. You'll have more enjoyment out of this movie than the Tom Cruise Mummy movie, I bet. Moving on. Next up, the final one out of the regular Blu-ray movies, Waterboy. One of my favorite roles of Adam Sandler to this day is Waterboy. I think actually it goes Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Waterboy. So he's like my third favorite. It's like my third favorite role. Next up, we have an entire TV show series, which I brought up a little bit earlier when I talked about Split. Avatar, Last Airbender. I loved this series. I started rewatching it on Netflix, even though I had the Blu-ray for a while. I might just pop in the Blu-ray sometime when I have time. Next one, which is a series I want to make a video on, because I haven't actually watched it. I couldn't really give it, my teenage brain couldn't give it a chance because it was boring as hell at the beginning. Legend of Korra. And then I've seen people talk about how it's shit. I've seen people talk about how it's great. I do talk shit about it sometimes based off what I heard happens in the show, but I haven't seen the show, so I can't fully tell you if the show is horrible in its entirety, but I can tell you that some of the stuff is kind of shitty that I've heard that just sounds stupid. But anyways, Legend of Korra. I need to watch it. Although it is on Netflix as well, so I might just use that so I can quickly watch it faster. And that I have to watch a lot of TV shows, guys. Please give me time. Omniverse, I just got Hulu back. Hang on. Next up, we have two Steelbooks that are basically the same movie. You saw them before. It's Fallen Kingdom. Again, they're the Best Buy exclusive. And this one was a Walmart Steelbook that had cool artwork. That I have is another copy. And I also haven't seen it, but it doesn't count because it's basically a copy of a movie I haven't seen. So I'm not counting it in the meter. Logan. I just like the artwork on this. It looks cool. I love the comic book style to it. And also it came with cards for Alita Battle Angel inside. But let's look at the total amount of movies that I haven't actually seen that I own. Holy shit. One of my goals this year is to do more movie reviews or pop culture type videos like I kind of do, as some examples here. I just didn't have time in 2020 because I was still working during the pandemic and that. And actually, you guys shocked me at what would actually like go viral on the channel. You guys realized that I made the Ben 10 video 2 months before a lot of you came to the channel. It's shocking. Like I was already moving on to like back to the video game stuff, and you guys blew up the Ben 10 videos, so I also kept giving you guys Ben 10 videos along with the video game stuff, and I appreciate you guys sticking around for the video game stuff and that. But I do want to do more pop culture videos. I am also planning on doing more collaborations with other YouTubers. I basically live with 2 other YouTubers, which is Josh and Liam from Potentially Employed. And we're gonna be doing more stuff. Josh just uploaded a video for a channel, which I'll probably make a video announcing it so that you guys can check it out. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna do more pop culture videos. I'm gonna watch this video and write down the movies that I haven't watched yet, that I haven't seen. And then make videos about. Probably will start off with Legend of Korra though, because I do want to actually watch it. I do want to sit down and watch it again. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, time travel today. Tell me in the comments if you guys have Blu-ray collection videos. I will go and I will personally watch the whole thing and like it. But yeah, let me know. And until next video, I'll see you in the future. Bye guys.